All right, in this video, we are going to solve this mini quiz over here on limits. And we have three questions in this quiz. In the first question, we have as lim t approaches 0, and we have this equation over here. So if I sub in 0 into the top, I'll get 3 times 0, which is 0. If I sub in 0 into the bottom, I'll get the square root of 9 plus 0, which is the square root of 9, which is 3 minus 3, which is 0. So I'll get 0 over 0 if I sub the limit in this question, which means the form is indeterminate. That means I have to rationalize this, and in order to rationalize, I will multiply the top by the same thing with the square root, but change the sign on the outside. I will multiply by 3 plus root of 9 plus 7, t on the top and the bottom. And we only have to rationalize the square root, so the other part stays exactly the same in factored form. So I'm just going to write that as 3t times 3 plus root of 9 plus 7t. The bottom you want to expand. 3 times 3 is 9. The middle terms will always cancel each other out. So 3 times this square root and negative this square root times 3 will cancel each other out always when rationalizing. I'm not going to even write that down. And then last term times last term, I have a negative times a positive, which is a negative. And the square root of this times the square root of the same thing. You just write it and make sure it's inside a bracket. That's really important. Next step, we just want to simplify the denominator a bit more again. So I'm going to write the numerator the exact same, and the denominator, I will distribute this negative into this bracket. So it becomes 9 minus 9 minus 70. 9 and negative 9 just cancel. So I'm just left with negative 70 in the denominator. And then I can cancel these two t's because they're both common factored out. I'll actually write it a bit neater in the next step so you're not confused. So this is what I'm left with, and now I can just cancel these two t's. So I can rewrite this now. I can move the negative to the top as well, or the front if you want to, not necessary, but something that is possible to do. And now I can sub in my limit of 0 into this question. So if I do that, I'll just have negative 3 plus root 9 divided by 7. And I can simplify this. I know root 9 is just 3, and 3 plus 3 is 6. So my final answer in this question is just negative 18 divided by 7. Okay, let's go to the second question over here. In this question, we have an infinite limit. And remember, when you have infinite limits and fractions and you sub it in, negative 7 times infinity squared, that's just negative infinity squared. And then the bottom, if I sub in infinity to the power of 4 times 5 plus 1 is infinity, square root of infinity is infinity. Exponent doesn't really matter. You could just write that as negative infinity over infinity, which again, if you have infinity over infinity or negatives over negatives with infinities, this is again an indeterminate form, which means we have to simplify this. In order to simplify this, I have to divide every single term by my largest exponent. In this case, the largest exponent is x squared because the square root of x4 is also x squared. And I'm going to make a specific video on multiple of these types of problems as well. So if you don't understand from this one question here, take a look at that video on my channel with infinite limits and square roots. I'm going to have 4 examples so you can understand this concept even better. So I'm dividing everything in this by x squared. So I have lim x approaches infinity, negative 7x squared over x squared divided by square root of 5x4. What is an x square inside the square root? It's x to the power of 4. Because an x squared, if I square root that, I just showed that here. If I square root x4, it's x squared. So outside of the x square, outside of the square root, it's x squared, but inside it's x 4. Again, a bit of a complex concept, but like I said, watch the other video of mine, which has 4 of these same examples, and you'll understand this concept a lot better. So over here, x squared and x squared cancel. So I'm just left with negative 7 on the top. In the bottom, x4 and x4 cancel. So that's just a 5. And then this cannot simplify. So it's 1 over x4. Now that I've done my cancellation, I can sub in my limit of infinity into this question. So I have negative 7 over root 5 plus 1 over infinity. 1 divided by infinity is just a 0. This is just negative 7 over root 5. And if you had to rationalize it, you could multiply the top and bottom by root 5. So negative 7 root 5 over 5. So one of these two would be your final solution in the question, depending on whether you had to rationalize or not. And let's go to the third and final question of this video. So we have an equation over here, and we need to find the value of a such that the limit exists. So this is giving us a right-sided equation and a left-sided equation. We know that if the limit exists, the left side must equal to the right side. And then to make the limit exist at x approaches 1, I have to replace the x with 1s. So 1 squared is just 1. And now I just have to solve this equation for my a. So I'll just combine like terms over there. Then I will add the 5 on the other side. To get rid of an e, we have to ln both sides. So this ln and e will cancel here. So ln 15 equals 1 minus a. Continue over here. I'll move the a to the other side to make it positive. So a plus ln 15 equals to 1. And then I'll subtract the ln 15 on the other side. So a just equals 1 minus ln 15. And that is the final answer to this question over here. If you made it to the end of this video and you found this content helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.